Having a strong mental game is one of the things that contributed massively to my success in poker. There's one technique that I use a lot to facilitate that, and it's called anchoring. I talked to Timon Krause, a famous German mentalist, and he actually brought up the same technique. So I thought, okay, now it's time to share this golden nugget. And he explains the background and implementation of this. So listen in. At the end, I will also explain you how I used it in poker. So stay tuned. You have an amazing technique, which actually I use in a different version with my coach.
Oh, great.
But the way you explained it, actually, I like that is more concrete and crisp. So
anchoring is a technique that comes from hypnotherapy and NLP, so from neuro-linguistic programming. There's a lot of problems with NLP, but this technique is actually a really good one. Essentially what it is, it's operative conditioning. So I'm going to be linking an outward trigger to a mindset or a specific emotion that I want to conjure up in myself.
I call it being in the zone because you want to be relaxed, but you also want to be focused. So it's like this calm focus.
So you're going to be in the zone. Next, you identify 3 memories where you felt in the zone. Those could be poker tournaments, but they could also be different memories. Maybe you say like, oh, I really get into the zone when I'm skiing, or I really get in the zone when I'm like video gaming or something. And if you can find 3 memories, they don't need to be spectacular memories. They don't need to be you winning a tournament or anything. Just where you think like, okay, remember what that felt like. So it's step 2. Step 3 is that you're going to be identifying your triggers. So you want something that's going to be triggering that emotion through the process that we will go through in a moment. You can say my trigger is this, or it's this, or it could be this. It could be a piece of clothing.
Whenever you want to punch someone, oh, I'm so calm.
But maybe you say like, I always wear my special sunglasses or my special hoodie when I'm playing poker. So you can use that as your trigger as well. It could be an object, it could be this pen. So now I have my trigger, I have the emotion, I have the memories. Now I'm going to go through the process of anchoring. The process of anchoring is basically very, very simple. You're going to put yourself back in that memory as much as you can. You're going to be using all your 5 senses to reconstruct that memory. You say, okay, first I'm going to, in that memory, look around at the things that I see. Next, you move to the things that you heard, figure out all the sounds, nice sounds, annoying sounds. Move to what you could smell, good smells, bad smells. Move to what you tasted, and even if there was no specific taste, you just remember that there was no taste. Maybe you hadn't just eaten something, so there was no taste, that's fine as well. And you move to what you feel. So kinesthetic experience, what are the things and triggers that you could just feel in your body? And you identify where that emotion of being in the zone sits in your body. And you really dial in on that emotion and you allow it to spread through your body and become bigger and bigger. And once you get it to the peak of how much you think you can conjure up being in the zone at that moment, you activate your trigger. If this was your trigger, you say, okay, now I'm feeling as much as I can right now as if I'm in the zone. You do this for 3 seconds, or you grab your pen, or you put on your hoodie, put on your sunglasses, whatever it is, for 3 seconds and take it off again. And now because you've done the trigger whenever you felt that emotion, you can reverse the process and you will find that when you put the trigger on or when you activate the trigger, it suddenly becomes much easier to conjure up the feeling of being in the zone. Activate your trigger, bring yourself into the zone as consciously as is necessary maybe at that point, and notice how you get more and more into the zone in shorter and shorter amounts of time. And eventually this will be an automatic process. It's the same for me. I do this whenever I have a new touring outfit. I do that with a touring outfit, and whenever I put it on, I'm in the zone to go on stage and I'm ready and the mindset is there and it just works. And I have specific like accessories that I only wear on stage. And I do this because I want to feel in the zone on stage, and then I want to also be able to take them off and just relax afterwards. That's a technique that I think could be really beneficial outside of just learning how to read other people, also like learning how to control yourself.
Now, how did I use this in poker? Anchoring as a technique, I think, is extremely valuable in a variety of different ways. And the main thing that I used it for is twofold. So on the one side, I think it is valuable for the playing implementation. So how can I make sure that I bring my best possible performance, that I can grab all those pieces of knowledge that I have stored over the years and condense them into my game style? Because if you have played live poker or online poker, there are these moments when you just feel like it's slipping out of your hands. You're not sharp, you're not there, you don't pick up all the information. And that doesn't always mean that you're emotionally stressed or not capable to deal with the situation. Sometimes it's just this, you're half a second too slow. You're not fully focused, you're not fully there. And I think that being able to bring that best possible mindset or level of focus to the table is very important. And so the way I've done this is I have this performance or these moments where I think I'm 9.5 out of 10 there. I brought all my knowledge there. I see all the things from my opponents, like I'm super in the flow and in the game. And then I create an anchor for this moment. So I consider one of my best poker moments the 50K in Barcelona, where I just got out of poker, but I was still super sharp. And finally, I was able to do all those things that I was sometimes a bit too scared to do, like to be a bit too out of line, to read too much into this live tell. I just felt like he had it, and then I had a decent hand and I called, and then he obviously showed me that he had it. That was one performance where I felt like I was able to do that. I felt like he had it, I folded. I felt like he didn't have it, or like there were some cues and information that just felt like he had a weak hand, and I went out of line and bluffed a hand that isn't a theoretical bluff, and stuff like this, where to be in this exact sharp moment where you don't overdo it, you don't talk yourself too much into stuff, but you're really picking up the information and process them in the best possible way. I feel this was my tournament performance of my career. And so I created an anchor for this feeling together with Elliot. We created this moment of going back into this moment, my best poker tournament performance, and then whenever I sit down at a table, that's how I feel. This level of focus, this level of performance that I can bring to the table over and over again. Sometimes this works better and sometimes this works worse, but it's really crazy to see that I think the spread of even on the top level is sometimes I feel like I'm top 3 in a tournament when I'm super in there, specifically because of the moments that I can pick up that others don't, like against weaker opponents where I think I play hands that they would never play. And I know the same from myself, like when I bring a 5 out of 10 performance, I would never find those spots. I wouldn't see those things. I wouldn't go after them in the way that I sometimes do. And I think that's why it's so important on the play side to be so attent, to be so focused, and to be so immersed in this experience. So that's on the purely poker playing side. You have this experience, you have this knowledge, you don't want to be distracted, and you want to bring the best you can on the table. And that's what I've created, an anchor for myself to be able to reproduce that. Now, on the other side is the emotional side of things. Things get shaken. You lose a big pot, you get sucked out on, you get it in with aces against kings, you get coolered, and now you go from chip leader to 9 out of 9. And those moments were countless. Like just in Triton in Cyprus, I was running super hot, and then when it got to the final table or final 15, like then I lose a massive pot. I've seen this so many times that people get shaken by this. And then it's there, okay, now you're 9 out of 9 and you just start punting it off. That's the second thing where I think there's a huge upside, to be able to mentally bring yourself in a calm state when you just got brought out of balance by a difficult moment, right? So sometimes there are these moments that really emotionally shake you, and everyone has those moments, and I had countless of those moments. At least 100 or 150 moments live where something happens that brings me off balance, and there I have a different anchor and a very different technique, because there it's not so much about now bringing a poker performance, it's really more about bringing myself back to a balanced and centered me. Letting that go, relaxing, and focusing on what's in front of me before I can even then focus on, hey, let me bring the best poker game I can. For me personally, those two things are particularly different. This is more something where I feel things are unfair, and it's not very mature. It's not like the most healthy and mature self. It's really more this childish behavior that sometimes pops up when a huge swing goes against me, and then to center myself again, like I can be better than this. There is a place where I'm just very relaxed, calm, and balanced, and that's where I try to bring myself back to. I actually center it a lot with the color orange. For some reason, it just makes me really calm and relaxed. And there is a particular place where we spend some time in nature, and I just go to that and just really relax there. And then I feel like I can just slowly calm down, and I can immediately feel that my performance gets much better. I get much calmer, and then I can start focusing again on poker and play my best poker. And those two areas have been super, super valuable for me, and I see it constantly in poker players, especially when I play live poker. There you have the face-to-face that they get so shaken by little moments, early stage, like day one, and then start playing bad poker and play hands that they would never play this way. And so it has a massive impact on your win rate. And I think both being able to focus your best poker playing abilities, but also to center your emotional being and just be balanced and stable. I think those two things, if you combine that well and have good things to go back to strengthen that, I think then you'll be ready for all the big moments that can come up. So I would highly recommend to integrate that in your game if you want to bring your game to the next level. And yeah, that's my anchoring technique. So I hope that's helpful. Implement it into your game and let me know when you won the next poker tournament or when you've had success with that. Put it in the comments below if you have any type of great moments that you think of or try to center yourself around, or if you've even tried anchoring before, let me know. I'm curious. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to support the channel and stay always up to date, then leave a subscribe here, or check out our next video.